Hello and welcome to Press Start. My name is James.
And I'm Dwayne. We're here to talk about video games and anything comic book related. We have a few questions already picked out for this week. We really hope you enjoy this, and James will start by reading.
Alright, one of the questions somebody sent to us on here. They want to know the best and worst DC and Marvel superhero movies or comic book movies. What were the initial flaws of the worst, and what would we say are the key essentials for the best that make them better than the others or unique, or what makes the worst ones the worst on our list? What do you want to start with, the worst or the best?
Well, I guess we can both agree that the Superman movie was pretty god-awful.
The newest one, the Superman Returns, was...
It was not up to par.
It was not up to par. I read an article. Bryan Singer, the director himself, said that he admits he screwed it up. So when the director comes out and says, I screwed the movie up,
Yeah.
It was not...
My favorite part about that whole movie, though, was when it was over.
That could be agreed. I think sticking with the tops of the other end of the spectrum, I think we can agree, and I hate jumping on the bandwagon and being the guy that goes with the popular choice, but The Avengers this year is the best superhero movie I've ever watched. I mean, and to say the key features that went right, everything went right with it.
Plus, it had Iron Man in it. That's the only thing that matters.
Now that is a debatable opinion for another story, another video segment,
Could be.
Iron Man.
We're just going to go with Iron Man was in it. Makes it awesome.
Well, we'll let you stick to that one. One of the worst movies I thought was, especially in Marvel, I did not care for the Ghost Rider movies, like either one of them. The second one was a lot worse. But I'm not a big Ghost Rider fan anyways, but I feel like Nicolas Cage didn't do the character any favors.
Well, I've only seen the first one, so I'm not really able to comment on the second. But I enjoyed the first one, but I haven't read any Ghost Rider comics, so
That's fair.
I'm kind of out of the running on that one.
How about you? You're more of a DC guy. I'm more of a Marvel guy. What do you know any of the other DC movies? Batman. You're a big Batman fan.
Well, I don't know a lot of people likes the new Batman movies. I think they're okay. They're not my favorite of them. My favorite being the one with George Clooney.
You like the George Clooney Batman?
I love the George Clooney Batman.
Love nipple suit Batman.
I love nipple suit Batman.
That is my least favorite Batman. I'm just going to be straight up honest with you. That's my least favorite. My favorite was always the Val Kilmer Batman. I thought Val Kilmer was the best. I liked the Fantastic Four movie. The first
those. The Silver Surfer one left much to be desired because Galactus is not a giant purple cloud.
I don't want to get into how they ruined Galactus. I like those movies, but they destroyed Galactus. Something completely out, but I will point out, Marvel has actually, Fox Studios has the rights to the X-Men and Fantastic Four, and that's why they was able to do that. Marvel got the right to pick two of their characters back from Fox, and they actually chose to get back Silver Surfer and Galactus, so a lot of people think that they might use Galactus in one of their future Avengers movies. And hopefully they'll actually use Galactus and not a giant cloud for the Avengers to fight.
That would be much more acceptable.
After fighting hordes of aliens, I don't really want to see a team of superheroes going at a giant dust cloud.
It's almost as bad as the Green Lantern, because Parallax was not a Guardian. He was a yellow entity that was stored within the central power battery on Oa, and they made him into a giant poop cloud in the movie.
Him and Galactus from the Fantastic Four movie could get together and start a supervillain club of giant dust clouds.
Well, Galactus looked better than a giant poop cloud. At least he looked ominous.
Fair, then he could be the leader of the club. Parallax could be second in command. I don't know. Trying to think of some of the other... I'm a big X-Men fan. Anybody watches these videos long will come to learn. I'm a big X-Men fan.
And you hate the third one.
I hate the third one,
because Scott Summers died. Admit it.
He died. That is one reason. I will say it's one reason, but here's
why. That is your turning point on it.
No, listen, the fact is, yes, he's my favorite character, so I'm biased. But it's not just because he died, and let me point out, he died within like the first 10 minutes of the movie.
He did.
Yeah, no screen time.
But, think about where he went. He went from X-Men to crap on Superman.
Well, that's a fair point. Now, look, I'll give you credit on that one. The reason they cut his role in X-Men 3 short is because he said, I'm going to go make the Superman movie. That was his bad. But see, that's not Cyclops' bad, that's James Marsden's bad. Either way, it was uncanon that they killed him and Professor X off in ways that was stupid. I thought it was stupid. And the way
at least Professor X died with some dignity because he tried to help Jean.
Let's be honest. If we thought...
No, he thought she was normal.
That's what I'm saying. But that's what I'm saying. If we thought the love of our lives had died, well, I mean, and then you see her and she's alive, I mean, you got to admit, you'd let your guard down a little bit. You'd be a little suspicious. You'd be a little bit more cautious. But you would let your guard down a little bit.
Yeah, I agree.
But no, Wolverine Origins, it gets a lot of bad rep. But I actually liked the Wolverine Origins movie.
I liked it other than the way they did Deadpool.
I hated the way they did Deadpool. That was... Ryan Reynolds made a good Deadpool, but the way he was wrote and the way they did him at the end, I thought was ridiculous.
It was.
Completely non-canon, which your big view on movies is you can't go into expecting...
Well, I usually do say that you can't go into a movie expecting it to be like the comics, but that Deadpool was nothing near the comics.
It wasn't even near the character. If you're not going to be the comics, at least stay true to the character. And they didn't even do that.
He was like a Frankenstein, but worse.
Exactly.
At least I like Frankenstein.
Now, moving on, I know we got a time limit to keep here, unfortunately. Keeping with kind of the superhero theme of the week, we have someone here that asked the classic age-old question of what superhero power would you choose? If you had to pick one superhero power, a question that has plagued nerdkind for centuries, ever since the dawn of comic books and superpowers, ever since cavemen drew Superman shooting laser beams on their walls. I mean...
You need to lay off the wacky Chewbacca, my friend.
We should patent that, Chewbacca. Anyhow,
surprised it's the first time you've heard that.
So, the power question. What power would you choose?
That is a very interesting question because the only thing I can think of, being that ice is my favorite element, probably to be able to control ice.
See, and I know, again, I've known you for a while. I understand the whole thing, but maybe give the viewers a little. Why have you always been so drawn to the ice power? Like, where did that start for you? I mean, I don't even know where that come from. I just know it's always been.
I don't really know. It's just kind of always been there. I enjoy the cold immensely. I die in summer pretty much, but like winter, I've always loved it. I love snow. Anything that has to do with ice is just something I love.
See, the irony for me is I've always liked the ability to generate and control fire. And the thing is like you, I'm a cold-natured person. I sleep the fan on high. I love it cold. I like the winter better. But for some reason, when it comes to abilities, I like fire ability better. Completely doesn't make any sense, with like going for what your answer was. But I really don't know why I like the fire. I just really have always been a fire
I'm really glad you said generate fire, though, because a lot of people don't take into consideration that pyrokinesis doesn't mean you can generate it. It just means you can manipulate it.
And that's something I learned, again, being an X-Men fan. Pyro, one of the supervillains of the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants, his power is strictly to control it. He cannot generate it. That's why he always carries around a set of flamethrowers on his arm, or he has a pocket lighter, because he himself cannot actually create it. But I don't want to be, if I'm going to have a fire ability, I want to go all out. I don't want to be dependent on there being an open flame source that I can use, because that kind of leaves me with a
small area.
A handicap's the word I was looking for my power. Sorry about that. My dogs are acting up. But, okay, he also asked in the same question, keeping on that, so fire and ice powers. Honestly, I think we already know the question to this, the good and evil. You know, I've never known, I don't see why you'd want to use a power for evil. I mean, I guess there's some people out in the world that would, let me rephrase it. Not use it for good and evil, but abusing the power. There's where the difference comes in. Would you abuse it? I mean, I think you said the other day we was talking about it, and you said to some degree you think anybody would abuse the power when they first.
If say your power was to activate, I believe that you would, just to learn it, you would have to abuse it somewhat to see what your limits are. But other than that, I don't see any reason to do it for evil.
But to use the word abuse to me seems like a strong word. Just to test out your powers, I feel like there's a difference between testing it and abusing it. And
well, you're probably right there. I will give you that.
I mean, like, when you say abuse it, to me, that makes me feel like just going out and using it recklessly. In order to test it, I think that's doing the opposite of that.
Some people, though, are going to, oh, I got this, I can do this. You're going to let me have whatever I want now, or you'll get hurt.
Yeah.
Or people with, like, super speed, they would run into a store, steal a whole bunch of stuff, and run out with it before anybody knows.
Exactly. Okay, now he asked another one, which is a very good point. He says, would you keep it to yourself, or would you want to tell everybody? Would you kind of, and I watched, if anybody ever watched the TV series Heroes, that was one of the big things on there. I remember when I was watching the interviews, is they asked one of the main stars, said, you know, if you actually got powers in real life, would you want to tell everybody, or keep it to yourself, you know, kind of on the down low?
Well, I guess it depends on the power. If it's something that
that's a good point,
I wouldn't want people to know about, like, I can't really think of a good example, obviously, but say you can run super fast. You don't want people to know that you can run extremely fast because they'll ask you to go do this, go do that.
They'd turn you into a pet or a tool, basically. Just
yeah.
They would abuse your power.
Or if you could fly, I mean, I guess you could tell people.
I mean, I guess it would also depend on who we're talking about telling. I mean, you know, look, there's certain people that I would tell before I would others. And I mean, again, it also depends. If we're going to go out and start being vigilantes and heroes, you know, there's certain people you don't want to endanger. But if you're just going to have the power just for leisure activity, but I'm the type of person, I feel like if I had powers, I'd want to use it in any way I could. Whether I'm putting on a suit and masking up and going out and taking down criminals, or I'm just going downtown to help build work construction, use my powers for that, I feel like I would have to use it somehow. It would have to be given back the gift I have.
That's what I would go with on that.
That's the way I would go. So how are we looking on our time there?
I have no idea.
You have no idea?
No idea.
Well, I guess maybe we could get ready to head into the wrap-up here. We spent a good little time discussing these videos. Now, if you liked our video, if you liked the questions we answered, press like and subscribe for some more videos. We're going to try to come out with quite a few each week. Whenever we get time, we're just going to upload videos. Also, the biggest part of our videos consists on you guys sending us questions. And so, if you have any questions for us,
you can just send it to the email that will be down in the description, and we'll probably put Twitter stuff up there. I don't know yet. We're still in the phase of working all the kinks out, but bear with us. We will get this on track and try and deliver a quality show.
All right, and thank you guys. This has been Press Start. So send us questions, subscribe, and see you next time.